Kentucky is home to some beautiful country as well as beautiful bridges. It's the vlogging Colonel. This is the Colonel's vlog. Welcome everyone on the road. I-64. And I'm headed east. Right? Southwest. North. Yeah. Southeast, I guess. Yep. Headed toward, I'm actually passing through Simpsonville right now. And going to Richmond, get the daughter from college. She's just finishing up her semester and got to go get all of the stuff out of her dorm, bring her back. Well, there's something near Richmond I was interested in. There's a lot of things near Richmond that are interesting. And I am coming back out here. We're coming out this weekend to spend a couple of nights out past there in Ansville, near London. I'm going to do some more stuff around Richmond for that vlog. But today I'm just going to have things to do, so kind of make it easy for myself. But yeah, heading out to, we did the covered bridge, the old covered bridge the other day. One of the last ones, one of the last of, I think, 11 old covered bridges. And those are so cool. Bridges in general are cool. I never had an appreciation for bridges. You know, I guess it's one of those things, like after you hit 40, you know, you start getting interested in things that, you know, like your grandpa used to be interested in. And yeah, I did a train museum. Never cared about trains. Now I have a thing for bridges, I guess. But anyway, since we did the old wood bridge, another really cool feature in Kentucky, if you've ever been on the back roads here, and it's a, you know, general thing in America, but you don't see them as much anymore. It's the old iron bridges, old steel bridges, you know, the old ones with all the framework. It's kind of a dying thing in Kentucky, as you know, the trucks have gotten bigger over time. Most of those bridges are phased out, except for the very, very large ones. You know, downtown in Louisville, there's a couple of very old, very large bridges. The ones that go across, like the Ohio, those tend to stay preserved a lot better. The ones crossing little creeks and rivers and all the small towns around the state, the Commonwealth in this case, I guess, is those little old bridges tend to get replaced with modern steel and concrete bridges. Wonder how many times I'll say bridges in this vlog. But anyway, there's a cool old metal bridge. And I think what makes it interesting in the context of a vlog is that it does still exist. And it's a replacement is kind of right next to it. So it kind of gives you a contrast at times. So anyway, heading that way. Here in the truck by myself, just driving. But should be there in about 45 minutes, maybe an hour. It's close to Richmond. Anyway, see you soon. The Jephthah Creed Distillery. Metal bridge alert. Got off the interstate. Little back roads traveling right now towards Richmond. There was quite a long traffic jam, so I figured instead of waiting there, I could come out here and See what we see? At least it's a prettier view. It's beautiful country. So we're out past Versailles, Versailles, I guess it's called here, Versailles. In between, I guess, kind of Nicholasville and Versailles and Lexington right now. Like a little tree farm or something. Coming down into the gorge here. Up there on the top is what we call the Baba Yaga cabin. And there's the bridge. Well, before I-75 carried thousands of people every day across this gorge, this was a much slower, stranger place. In the 1790s, you didn't fly over Kentucky. You took your time, and when you got to water like this, in many cases, you took a ferry. Ferries were very popular, especially in the more rural areas, such as here. And Clay's Ferry began as an old Kentucky River crossing between now what is Fayette and Madison counties, southeast of Lexington. That's where we are now. Community developed before 1790 around a river landing right here. And the ferry itself opened in 1792. It was first known as Stone's Ferry after Valentine Stone, but then became Clay's Ferry after Green Clay acquired it in 1798. Now, Green Clay was a wealthy early Kentucky landowner, politician. He was also a slave owner and a businessman in general, and also the father of Cassius Clay, the well-known, famous emancipationist connected to Whitehall right down the road. Green Clay was born in, I think, 1757, served in the American Revolution, so he was kind of a hero as well. Moved to Kentucky and became one of the most powerful figures in Madison, Richmond area. He owned large amounts of land, businesses, ferries, taverns, distilleries, you name it. Enslaved people. He was also he had a shipyard, or the area had a shipyard. I don't know if it was related to him, but that made this not just a crossing here, it was just a very popular area crossing of the river that became very popular over time and built up basically an entire community around this crossing right here. And as you can see, in 1869, the ferry gave way to iron, as you see there. That old bridge below the modern interstate bridge is a narrow one-lane and still standing, became the crossing for the old Richmond and Lexington Turnpike, later US 25. Now let me get down there real quick. So as you can see, that 1869 bridge still exists today as the old Clay's Ferry Bridge, carrying Kentucky 2328 and old US 25 over the Kentucky River. It's a narrow one-lane metal truss bridge, specifically a pin-connected Warren-through truss built by the Louisville Bridge and Iron Company with Albert Fink connected to its design. And it was purchased by Kentucky in 1929, became a part of U.S. Highway 25, and later shifted to local traffic after the High Bridge was built. And then came the dramatic jump from old road Kentucky to modern highway Kentucky, leading to the monster above it that you can see there. And we'll get closer to that as well. I'm going to jump in the truck and we'll take a ride down the bridge. Or actually, we're going to walk under it first because does appear to be access to it down here, at least to get a couple of shots from the belly of the beast, as they say. Or do they say that? I don't know. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. I don't even know who they is. Am I they? Are they they? Do they even know who they are? Here we are. Kind of the remaining structure. Right here. Well, 1869, just after the Civil War. Now, obviously, this isn't all Civil War era construction now. It was redone in the 50s or the 30s. Not sure what year. But here for many years been this old bridge. I love old bridges like this. Look at there. Let's take a ride across it, shall we? There's a cool little bar and honky tonk here. Also right at the foot of the bridge. Which, if I weren't on the way to where I'm going right now, I would be paying a visit shortly. But I know I will be back now that I know it's here. There's a one-lane bridge, so that car just tried to cross, and now I have to wait for this back up and let this truck through. Our side must yield. Waiting on the traffic here, and then there we go. Let's proceed, shall we? And my wife, Jaslyn, is terrified of bridges. Who would not be enjoying this at all. There you go. I'm going to turn around and go back over it again. This time I'll show you the view off the side. Here we go. She's a creaker. I don't know if you can hear all that noise. And over there you can see the new bridge, the big I-75 superstructure. So let me go over here and park. We'll talk about that one. Now, plans we're starting for building the new bridge around 1941. right around the time that World War II was causing a pretty significant supply of steel and building materials needed for such a massive construction project. But the high bridge finally opened in August of 1946, soaring about 280 feet above the river and measuring 1,736 feet long. See if I can zoom you. I only have digital zoom here, but at the time it was considered the tallest bridge east of the Mississippi, and a twin span was added in 1963 as I-75 traffic grew. Now, this modern structure you see today is a result of a massive 1990s rebuild after fatigue studies by the state of Kentucky, and widening plan construction began in 1994 to combine the older high bridges into one larger 6-lane crossing, which we see today. The project kept the existing piers, so those piers are original, but they added new supports and created the unified modern superstructure completed in 1998 with full shoulders and 3 lanes each direction. By 2015, roughly 75,000 people were crossing it. But it's super cool. These two bridges, in contrast to each other, one built right at the end of the Civil War, and one built only a couple of decades ago, at least as we see it today, with the rebuilds. It's kind of, most people, I have myself, passed over that bridge up there without even knowing that there was another bridge down here. When I drive over, I'm usually looking down at the river. Never even saw that this other bridge was here. The heck, I'll cross it one more time. And that's a bridge over Madison County. Crossing under the 75 bridge here. Super cool. Here on the overlook, pull over here. Look at this view. '75 bridge right there. Well, this is what I jokingly call the Baba Yaga house. Whenever my wife and I drive by here, I threaten that one day I'm gonna move her into this little house up here. When you're coming from down there on the bridge, and you drive by and see this, it looks like it's literally about to fall off of the side of the mountain. Super crazy to see it. But I guess now, looking down on it, might not have been so much of a threat. I mean, look at this view. Well, we come down here a little further. Got a little trail camera up here trying to get people. Yeah. But from this view, you can see the old bridge next to the new bridge. The old bridge way down there. Kentucky is home to some beautiful country, as well as beautiful bridges. Beautiful. And I'm sure most people that aren't local pass over that all the time without even thinking about the history that's down here. With all the speed of the new interstate systems, you just fly right past and never know that this place is still here. It's where time has not sped up to 75 miles an hour. And it's definitely worth getting down and seeing these old bridges like this, because you see a lot more beauty down in places like this than right off the sides of the interstates. And with that said, I gotta go get my daughter, help her move from college back home, at least for a while, for the semester. So, love you guys. This is the Colonel. Till tomorrow, we'll see where we meet. And this vlog is going back to college. No. Wait. The vlog is crossing the river. Yeah. Those Kentucky skies. Oh yeah. Got some criminal enterprises going on over here.